Godzilla. The time for your servitude has come.
How's it, Godzilla fans, kaiju fans, collectors, and just general people of YouTube? This is Chanzilla1964 coming back to you with another figure review. This time, we'll be reviewing not a Godzilla figure, but instead another soft vinyl kaiju figure. This time being the Cthulhu figure from Y-MSF. To start off with detail for this guy. I mean, detail on this guy that's definitely one of the strong points for this figure. I would say well, actually, for this figure, everything is its strong point, from detail to the articulation. It's insane. I mean, just looking at the tentacles over here, the different indents, the lines, the sculpt work for the eyebrow and the skull, especially for Cthulhu, looks really, really good. And then, I mean, just look at the top of the head over here. I mean, it's crazy. The armored plating, I guess you can say, for this part is really nicely detailed, as well as the tentacles on the side over here too. They got some stuff going on here. And I mean, it's just the way that Y-MSF sculpted the tentacles for Cthulhu is just crazy. And it looks really good. And I have to praise the way they sculpted his eyes, because the eyes for this figure is very menacing, which is perfect, because I mean, this is a being of madness and chaos, per the old Lovecraftian novels, which if you're a fan of the occult, I recommend you read. I have not had a chance to read them yet, but I am definitely interested in reading them now. But continuing down the body for detail, the sculpt work for the armored plating for the abs, and then just I'm not sure if you would call this scales or armored plating, because you have this soft sinewy kind of thing going on here, the muscles over here going on, which are very nicely detailed with the lines and all, but you also have this kind of armored stuff, so I'm not sure if they're scales or armored, even though they kind of remind me of the detail work that you would find on the God, what's that creature from that one old movie? It was a swamp creature or something. I know that's not the name of it. Or Creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, that's it. It reminds me of the scales for the Creature from the Black Lagoon. That's what this reminds me of. But, I mean, yeah, the detail work for this guy came out really great. One thing I found really, or I was kind of skeptical or weirded out by this figure would be a stub tail. But I think it worked out pretty well for what it is. Going to the wings over here though, the detail work on the wings is phenomenal, with the same kind of armored plating sort of stuff going on over here, up and down the wings and each of their segments, and then this kind of texturing over here for the webbing, and that same texturing or similar texturing. Actually, I'm wrong. The texturing for the hands, because actually I was supposed to get to the hands eventually, but the inside of the hands are very nicely detailed, but I thought the inside of the hands, or the webbing of the hands, are going to be the same as the wings, but I was wrong. It's kind of the similar texturing to the muscles that we see over here for the arm and the legs, and yeah, anywhere that there's no armored plating, pretty much. For the detail for this figure is just phenomenal and amazing, and I think Y-MSF did a really, really good job with this guy. Only thing I would have added, which definitely is not needed for this figure, I'm going to say that now, disclaimer, it's just a thought of mine, would be if the head could have moved, and then if there was a mouth. But you know what, beggars cannot be choosers, because this is my one and only Cthulhu figure, and this is probably going to be the definitive for me. Because I've seen other Cthulhu figures online, granted none that are kind of soft vinyl-ish like this one. And this one, for me, kicks it out of the park for all of them. Moving on to paint for Cthulhu. Y-MSF knocks it out in the out of the park in the paint department too, because I mean, they could have just colored it green, colored the eyes red, colored the fingernails and the toenails and call it a day. But no, that's not what they did at all. For the armored plating over here and parts of the tentacles, they added this kind of yellow highlights over here, yellow green highlights, which turn out really, really great. All over the body, the shoulder pads, bits and pieces of the armor, the in between the webbing over here. I especially like that they have this yellow green thing going on, although it's missing over here for some reason, which is kind of a bummer, but maybe it's just my figure. And then you have it on the wings too. Not too much in the back, but that's totally okay. Then on top of that, they also added shading, or what is it, blackwashing for the figure as well, which it brings out the detail a lot more and makes it look definitely a whole lot more cool. I guess is the word for it. I was gonna say realistic, but yeah, realistic may be a word for it too. But it definitely brings out a lot of the detail work that went into this figure. So I'm glad that Y-MSF went that route, that they decided to blackwash for the figure. And then the paint work on the nails are very nicely done. The same black paint can be found over here on the tips of the wings as well. For both wings. And then for Cthulhu's eyes, they're painted with this really nice bright red color, which looks really, really good. And no sort of paint splooches or mistakes with the eyes. So yeah, but let's get on to articulation. Both of Cthulhu's arms can move, but the tentacles over here kind of block it from going 360. They can go all the way up. That's about it. They can't get past the wings, or I wouldn't mind pushing them past the wings, because for mine, the wings are supposed to be glued in, but for me, this one isn't quite glued in. So yeah, I don't want to push this and then it falls off or something. While we're in the back here, actually though, the tail can move. So we can have a Cthulhu without a tail if that's kind of what you want to go for. And the thing is, it needs the tail to stand. But yeah. Again, really smart thing that you did there, Y-MSF. Really smart. Love the tail. But the only other part of a piece of articulation would be Cthulhu's waist, which can go all the way around, leaving us with 4 points of articulation for this massive, massive figure. And when I say massive, I do mean massive, because moving on a size comparison, here's Cthulhu compared to two of Bandai's 6-inch figures, this one being the Bandai Movie Monster Series Gamera figure, and then this one being the Bandai Godzilla 50th Memorial Box 1965 Godzilla. Now this one I'd say is about a little shorter than 6 inches, but this one is definitely 6 inches, so this figure kind of ranges around definitely ranges around the 8-inch range. But I mean, just comparing this figure's, I mean, body mass compared to Godzilla, it's huge. I mean, I'd say from Cthulhu's like body mass wise, or from tip of the wing to tip of the wing, it goes from the tip of Godzilla's nose all the way to the tip of Godzilla's tail, which is kind of crazy. And for Gamera, well, yeah. Granted, Gamera's just about as bulky as Cthulhu's shoulders, or maybe a little less. But I mean, height-wise, Cthulhu got these guys beat. Bulk-wise, Gamera may be a bit closer to him, but for sure he's got Godzilla 65 beat for bulk-wise. An 8-inch figure that I got that I also got along with not Cthulhu, but I got along with the Wolfman figure that I showcased in my last video, is this 8-inch G-Fantas figure. It is the most recent G-Fest 2022 exclusive. It is a glow-in-the-dark figure. But size comparison-wise, Cthulhu's a little taller than this guy, and still definitely bulkier than G-Fantas. But yeah, this may be Y-MSF's bigger 8-inch figures, which is really cool, because I mean, with the I guess the weight that this character carries, Cthulhu, you need this kind of epic skill when you make a figure of him. Whereas the figures that I've seen of Cthulhu in the past, they either make it very kid-friendly or very plain-looking, or they just have it way out there. This one is kind of a nice meld of in the middle of it, which is really cool. And yeah, there's all the praise I can give to them. But yeah, I'm gonna give all the praise I can give to the Y-MSF for how their Cthulhu figure came out, because it came out really good. And as a bonus, let me show you guys what G-Fantas looks glowing in the dark. Another product of Y-MSF. Okay, to finish off this figure review, question of the day. Do I recommend you guys get this figure? This one, I 100% recommend you guys get this figure if you can. Last time I checked on the Y-MSF Facebook page, they said they have, I believe they have one more piece left for sale for about $150. So yeah, if you guys are a fan of the occult, especially, or if you're a fan of giant monsters, and if you're a fan of Lovecraft, because I'm pretty sure there's quite a few Lovecraft people out there, then I'll definitely recommend picking this figure up. It may not be Lovecraft accurate, even though I don't think any of us can really tell what would be Lovecraft accurate. This is still an amazing Cthulhu figure to have in your collection. Not to mention an amazing soft vinyl monster figure to have in your collection. Speaking of soft vinyl monster action figures, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek to the next figure review to come out for this channel. It's gonna be for the Y-MSF Toho Wolfman figure. The origin for this guy was he was supposed to appear in Godzilla vs. the Wolfman back in 1983, but that film got scrapped for a multitude of reasons. And if you guys want to see a video on it, I will leave a few links either here or in the comments where you can go watch those videos as to what happened to the Godzilla vs. the Wolfman film. But yeah, just a sneak peek for the next video coming out for the channel. It's going to be a figure review for the Toho Wolfman. Yeah. But, to complete this sort of American monster figure collection, well, American to Japanese media collection, I guess, even though Cthulhu wouldn't count, because it would be Wolfman, King Kong, he's somewhere on my shelf, and then for me, I would want Frankenstein, which I hope Y-MSF comes out with their Frankenstein figure sometime soon, since they've just been rolling out all these figures that they've been showcasing over the years, which has been amazing. But just think about it. Wolfman, Cthulhu, Frankenstein. True American cult classics. Of course, you're going to be missing the Mummy, Dracula, but, yeah. And, oh, you know what? This could be a substitute for the swamp, for Creature from the Black Lagoon, if anything. Because, I mean, he's halfway there. But with that being said, that's it for this figure review. Remember, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button. And if you like what you see on the channel, be sure to subscribe. And if you can, leave a comment, because it helps with the algorithm and all that. Just, But yeah, until next time, peace.